All right, here we go. I am live. We did 3 yesterday. We have 2 more to do today. We'll see if we can get through everything before F1 and before the final race of the season tomorrow. But for now, just get through Le Mans. And then we go to Fuji afterwards. Gonna try and do these back to back with no real break in between. That way I finish before 3 o'clock. That's the aim anyway. But some early afternoon comms won't go amiss. Give everyone a couple of minutes to get in. Is my mic all right? That's probably a good place to start. Afternoon. How are you doing this afternoon, Bolt? Turn my phone down, that way I can have the YouTube comments up on my screen as we continue through. Give it a couple more minutes before we can before we get going. Very much a well, mixed up grid, I think, is the best way of putting it, actually. Yeah. That's what I plan on doing as well. I plan on getting these two done, hopefully finishing just before the F1 starts. That's the aim, anyway. If not, then I have to watch the first couple of laps at the end of this race, at the end of the Fuji race. But the aim is that we get this one done, and then we still have about hour 20 minutes. Run this one as long as we don't run this one too close. But yeah, that's my plan to do F1, the F1 after this, and then also got eSports tonight. So it's a long day ahead of racing for me in particular. 2 hours later on, probably gonna start that stream somewhere between 7 and 7:15 because it is the final race of the season for eSports. So gonna have to go sort of through some permutations and what can and can't happen. Skip Fuji. That's fair. In tier 2, Fuji did not treat me well either, admittedly. But yeah, give it a few minutes. We're now we'll give it an extra minute for people to join us, but then I think it'll be good to go. Just answering something in admin chat right now. Right. We'll go through the grid now then. And then we'll get going for this sprint race. Just answered the message I needed to answer. Yeah, let's get going. So we've got V-Cube on what I believe is his debut. V-Cube on pole at Le Mans. I believe that's the Citroen he's in. So new driver for the tier, going straight to the front immediately. Then you got Yuri in second, who needs a big day just to stop this becoming a 2-horse race, which admittedly at the top of the tier realistically already had devolved into it. We'll go through the 2 drivers that are close enough to win it in a minute. JMS in third, Coach in fourth. He's already won a race. He won on his debut at Bathurst, so he's going to try and add to that. You know, Kachka, who very much middle of the pack in his debut at Road Atlanta, starting 5th in this one. Dr. Esty is in 6th. That's, I believe, his highest start of the entire season. You know, Ben in 7th, who has been a complete roll of the dice this season. He's either been toward the front or toward the back, and there's no real in between. You know, Darlington in 8th, which is his best qualifying since joining the tier. Nath in 9th. Mo in 10th. The championship leader, Wack in 11th. That is not a good start for the championship leader. You got Jezza in 12th. Musa in 13th. And Basti in 14th, which are the 2 other drivers that potentially could fight for this title, having a mare in qualifying. In mind, Wack's got the lead over Pasti right now. Musa and Yuri are 2 bit further off. Big days needed for either one of those drivers to put themselves back into the fight. In mind, Musa had a double win in Road Atlanta. That being said, I think it's good. Pretty much time to go. It's 4 lights, 5 red lights. It's lights out and away we go. Someone got off to either a flying start or false start. I couldn't tell which one it was. But the Citroen is gone. The Citroen had a good, maybe 100-meter lead already. He's got a substantial lead as they head into turn 1. JMS has got himself up in a second. Yuri just did not get off the line. Ben up into 4th, or was up into 4th. And Nathan's gone far too deep. I couldn't tell whether or not that was contact. He has gone far too deep to start with. Kachka up in a 4th, Ben in 5th. Then you got Pasti up in a 6th, which is a flying start for him. Coach in the Supra did not get off the line very well. Wackers in 8th, so good start for both the championship rivals here. Oh, both gaining at least 5 or 6 positions off the start of this race. The coach has got a half-second penalty already. I think Esty might be added to it as well. Musa up in the 9th. In this one, yeah, Esty gets a half-second penalty for his trouble. Going through the pack, that looks like JMS and Yuri fighting it out towards the end of the first half of the Mulsanne straight. JMS has a half-second penalty on this lap. That Alfa Romeo is going to be flying in the background. Hopefully he doesn't kill anyone on the way through. JMS has forgotten there's a corner there, and the first chicane beats him. Yuri goes on through. Kachka goes on through. I'm pretty sure that'll tack to the tack on to the half-second penalty he's got there. And Ben might be able to go on through now. Right, I don't think it has tacked on to his half-second penalty. Ben has a real shot if he wants to go to the inside here. Doesn't look like he's trying it. Passive in 6th right now, coach in 7th. Kachka's going on Yuri. Oh, looked like he was going to go on Yuri, who I think has just made a massive mistake of that one. I think he went too deep, and that'll allow the Alfa Romeo on through. Kachka's having a flyer at the start of this race. Yuri now under fire, will be under fire from JMS as well. The rest of the grid very much in a line. Pasti going after the Ferrari as well for 5th in this one. Kachka will defend his 2nd place. Pasti's going to the inside of the Ferrari. The Ferrari goes a little bit deep. Pasti's still there. Pasti's not got the position though, and it's well defended from the Ferrari as we've got a Mazda unsafely rejoining in the background. The real question is, which of the Mazdas is it? Oh, it's Musa. I think he got tagged. I think Musa got tagged. Let's have a look from Mo's perspective, but I'm pretty sure Musa got tagged. Going to the end of the Mulsanne straight here. Oh yeah, it's not even close. He got absolutely clobbered. That'll do it. That'll do it for that first turn. And yeah, Musa right at the back. B-Cube's got a half-second penalty, but it won't matter already. He is gone. It might bring him close enough to Kachka to maybe bring Kachka into this, but right now he is definitely off into the distance. That's probably a couple-second lead already that he's got on the Alfa Romeo. Had to come through the pack. Seems to be bouncing quite heavily at the moment. Him and Yuri. Oh, that was almost dangerous there for Kachka. JMS is going to the outside of the Dutchman, and he'll have a penalty to serve though, so he won't really stay there for too long. He'll save that half-second penalty, so will Coach. And Pasty goes on through, and I think that's going to be Ben that goes on through as well. Wack potentially going on past the Irishman, and he will. So Wack has gained a position, Pasty's gained a position. Ben also gained a position, but the other two were focusing more for the title race than anything else. Coach only dropped back to 8th, so they really didn't lose much of anything there at all. The rest of the group very much in their own little world at the back of the grid. That includes Musa, who really needed a big day, because right now he is not getting that big day. All he's doing is allowing for a 2-horse race to definitely unfold here. At the front of Tier 3, Wack is trying it round the outside of the chicane. It's definitely not how you're going to overtake there. That door was slammed very much shut, very quickly. V-Cube got dragged back, but look at that. It's still a substantial gap between V-Cube and Kachka here. The Spanish driver on his debut is putting on a clinic. Go through the Dunlop curves here at the front of the lap. Early on, we move on to lap 2 here at Le Mans. Kachka still holding on from Yuri, albeit Kachka is just teleporting all over the place. Still going to hold on from the GTR, but now the GTR is going to pull out and see if he can get himself alongside the Alfa Romeo. He has got himself alongside the Alfa Romeo here. Got himself potentially in front now. The Alfa Romeo just lagging just slightly backwards. The GTR will have the inside line into the chicane. It will be a good run if he can get it done. He will get it done. I think Ben got a bit deep in the background. He's still got advantage over Wack now, though, as they head out of the first chicane into the Mulsanne straight again, and Wack should have this, because Wack is very much on a better run. It looks like the Renault has got himself in front of the Ferrari heading down this straight. It isn't going to be as clean sailing as you may have thought. Heading down into the second of the chicanes here. There's a penalty up in front. Wack has gone very shallow there. Keep himself involved. Pasty's got himself past Kachka. Yuri's got a second penalty as well. So Pasty, albeit probably ain't going to get anywhere near V-Cube, but he is going to get into second place. Close that gap down just a little bit on Wack. Yuri with a second penalty. He'll lose at least 2 positions here, quite frankly. It wouldn't be too surprising if he lost the 2 positions further back as well to Wack and to Ben. It might bring Coach and JMS into this. Right now, Pasty is definitely going to take second. You don't need a mistake from V-Cube to actually do anything about it, though, because he is flying. That Citroen is gone. We go through in towards Indianapolis now on lap 2, almost halfway through. Pasty going now for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why you would go now. To be completely honest with you, he's got a penalty. All you're going to do is slow yourself down. He's actually got himself in front either way. A bit too risky though for someone for that couple of corners there with a penalty in tow for the guy in front. Not sure it's a risk that it would have been worth taking, but Pasty's cleared himself and is out in the second. Kachka in third, Wack is in fourth. So Wack finally got clear of Ben. Yuri got out behind Ben, but ahead of Coach, and JMS now has 1.5 to boot. Got Musa in 9th, SD in 10th, Mo in 11th, Jezza in 12th, Nathan 13th, and Darlington, after a half-decent qualifying, has just not got widely on the medium tires. I am not sure why Darlington's on the medium tires here, and that's probably going to be the main cause of all of his issues here. Coach is right behind Yuri now. Yeah, might be a move on here for the Supra. But it doesn't look like there's going to be one into the chicane. 4:15 for V-Cube on the first lap, but on the first recordable lap anyway. 5 seconds quicker than Yuri. The top three are very much starting to drive away now. Kachka slipped behind Wack, which means Wack is very much keeping that gap that Pasty was trying to open up as small as humanly possible. You talk about lag, Yuri there, or overall? Yeah, okay, it was lag. Yeah, he has looked quite laggy here up to this point. So Wack trying to close down Pasty. If Wack can get ahead of Pasty here, that 11-point gap will turn into a 13-point gap. With it, oh, there you go. There's a bump from Wack just to give Pasty a little bit more speed. They're going to work together. They aren't going to really. Oh, Kachka is all over the place in the background there. I think Wack might be picking up half second as well. That looks very deep. I'm not sure if he was entirely. Oh, it's an entire second. There you go. That to say, I am not too surprised. He looked well over the white line. That is not too surprising that he's got the penalty there. He's just now going to work together with Pasty to make sure he doesn't drop behind Kachka when he has to take it. Right now, Pasty will be in cruise control second place, and V-Cube, quite frankly, hasn't been touched. No one has got anywhere near him at all. We continue in the background here. We've got Yuri, and I think that's Coach going side by side in the background. And Coach to the inside, gets it done before the corner even hits. And now the Super can go after the Ferrari down towards Indianapolis, because it's definitely got the straight line speed to do so. The Ferrari not getting much of a tow here from Kachka in the Alfa Romeo. So it'll be the fact that Ben has now got to actually defend. You can see he's going to try to break the tow here, rather unsuccessfully, because Coach is going to the inside halfway down the straight. They ain't even going to get to Indianapolis before that move has been made, and Coach is up into the top 5. JMS has 1.5 seconds he's about to take. Wackers is 1 second he's about to take. The real question is, he's broken enough of a gap to Kachka. He's going to use the grass to not slow down as much. One hell of an exploit, but he has done it. He kept the car on track as well. He's going to stay ahead of Kachka most likely. Kachka is getting close, but realistically I don't think he's going to be close enough heading into the Porsche curves, and he isn't. And Wack is going to stay ahead there. That means Wack is going to start building his gap back up to Kachka as well, because Kachka is just... That looked a little bit deep there from Pasty. That looked very deep there from Pasty as he crossed over the curb. That's the real question. The game doesn't think he did, so he got away with that. He's not got a penalty to deal with there. V-Cube over the line, 208. Whereas Pasty 2.30, Wack did a 2.9. eCube's still the fastest driver on the track outside of Coach, who did a 4.16. If only Coach will be sat there thinking, if only I did 2 of those, be a lot closer to the front right now. Here he's still in 7th, Ben in 6th. JMS is in 8th, right ahead of Musa now, who needs a big day and hasn't got it. And Esty is at the back of the grid. Darlington in 13th. We're on the final lap of the race here at Le Mans. Going to the front, well, almost to the front, because eCube has got himself a handly distance there. Out in front. There we go, watch Pasty versus Whack. This could play massive for the championship this week. In this week, the first of the 2 battles they'll probably have. Whack is going to bump Pasty down the straight here. Is there a betrayal coming at the end of this one? No, there isn't. Not into the first chicane anyway. A little bit of interesting strategy to play from Wacky. Is he going to try and take that 2nd place off of Pasty and swing the points just a little bit in his favour? Because right now, Pasty will close the gap by 2. Whereas if Wack can get the position in the open, the gap by 2. 4-point swing available for 1 position here. Another bump. They are not going to get close enough to VCube to do anything about this, so Wack has got to make a point of it eventually, go and get that position. Coach has got himself ahead of Kachka, and they both go side by side, and Kachka is just too deep. I think Kachka will get a penalty for that. Ben will go through. Kachka's got a penalty. Yuri's got, well, Kachka should get a penalty. Yuri does have a half second. Kachka somehow avoided a penalty there. Not entirely sure how he's managed that. Whack and Pasty again. Whack is just not looking for a move. He really should be. Because now he's got literally his last chance at Indianapolis. After that point, you don't really have an opportunity to make a move. No real overtakes into the Porsche curves, and in the 2 chicanes at the end, you're going to have one hell of a run to try and make a move into the final couple of corners. That's for certain. He's got to keep going for it. He's got to do it into Indianapolis. He's got alongside. He got in front. And there's your 4-point swing in the championship, because Whack has got ahead of Pasty. Coach is going to be clear. Kachka did get his half-second penalty. Very late on the giving that, so he did get it. Oh, Coach definitely closing the door a bit on Ben there. And the boldness of that kind of move, that's for certain. Moves us up into 8th. Looks like Coach is going to defend well here from Ben down towards the Porsche curves. VCube has just not been touched at all in this entire sprint race. Qualified on pole, got the Citroen getaway, and quite frankly has never looked back. It has been an absolute clinic in this sprint race from the Spanish driver on his debut. He could not have asked for anything better if he tried. He's got 4 corners to separate him and his first race win here in ALR, and none of the corners are going to stop him. An absolute masterclass. Cube will win at Le Mans in the sprint. Whack will get 2nd. He'll extend his championship advantage to Pasty in 3rd. Coach wins the drag race to the line for 4th. Ben gets 5th. Yuri will end 6th. Kachka will get 7th in the end. Musa will get 8th. JMS will get 9th. I think there's Nathan up the line to round out the points. We'll get reverse grid pole for the feature. Then we got Darlington over the line there. He'll end 12th though, because he's got a 1.5 second penalty. Mo will get 11th. Esty will get 13th. And Jezza will end off the back of the grid. There you go. That's 14 drivers over the line through 4 laps of Le Mans. Another 10 to go. There you go. We'll load up the feature race for Le Mans. Now it's absolute domination through the first race there for VQ. Literally never got touched. No one ever got anywhere near him. You have to deal with all the traffic now in the second race, though. We'll get to see how well he can fight through the grid. That looks a little bit damp. Well, a little bit dull. It's a bit damp. That's rain at the start of the Tier 3 white feature race here. The question is, who has started on what tyre? We'll start from the back. Someone has joined the feature. I'm not entirely sure who it is. I'm not entirely sure who hasn't joined us for the feature here. We'll take a look in a minute. So intermediates for Jezza and for Esti. Mediums for Darlington, who's trying to hedge his bets here. Mediums for Mo. V-Cube on intermediates. Whack on softs. And Whack is going to try that. Okay, so we've got a mix of strategies here in Tier 3. Soft to Pasty. Intermediates for Ben. Intermediates for Yuri. Kachka on inters. Inters for Musa. JMS on inters as well. You'd expect some of these maybe trying to play the game. But if some people are willing to go on soft, that amount of people are willing to go on the slick tires, you have to question why people are going to intermediates here. We'll wait and see how heavy it gets. All right, let's go. 10 laps of Le Mans. Intermediates to start. It is getting slightly wetter. It isn't really a threat right now. It is very heavy rain. You understand why people would start on the intermediates at this point if this is all they saw. We'll see how this plays out. Nath ahead of JMS here. These two got away very quickly, so did Musa. Kachka not so much. And Ben is definitely on the slower side on his slick tyres at the front. Well, the first of the slick tyre runners right now. Pasty and Whack already gaining a position apiece. V-Cube also trying to get himself involved here. He's on the intermediates. He's trying to get himself a couple of positions off the start. He will. Pasty's got deep. Pasty had no reason to avoid his line there. But he has. Jezza's got up into 10th, into 9th. Pasty has lost out heavily here. He dropped all the way to 11th. Whack has not done so yet. Esti and Jezza are both going to go either side of him here. And I think it's going to be short-term pain for long-term gain here for the slick tyre runners, because this rain has already slowed down to a stop. And if the rain has already slowed down to a stop, it's about keeping the car on track here. If you can keep the car on track as they head down into the first chicane, Yuri making a good move, a little bit of a switchback there on Kachka. He's also got Musa as well. Nathan's in second, JMS is well out in front. Right now, if you're on the intermediate tyres, it isn't raining anymore. Have you potentially got this wrong? Has the soft tyres and the medium tyre runners got enough to stay on the race in line here, just to start to dry up, because their tyres aren't going to wear right now? Looks like Nathan Kachka trying to find out that you might be a half-second penalty for Yuri there. He went deep. It is raining, so there might be a little bit more lenient. These guys are switching positions like it's going out of fashion. The Alfa Romeo is very quick in a straight line. Much quicker than that GTR is, sorry. And this should be the Alfa Romeo's corner. Down to the end of the Mulsanne straight it is, and Yuri got a bit wide. Musa and Nath behind, going side by side into this one. It's Kachka going very deep. And then a little bit of an accordion effect here, and Kachka's got away with it. Musa's got away with it as well, and Ben is going to try and get a couple of positions here on his intermediate tyres. There's an ice cream truck outside. You have to mind that for a minute. There we got Musa trying to go after Kachka at the moment. Hasn't really worked as they head through Indianapolis. He's going to the inside to look now. Kachka's gone a little bit deep. Musa had an incredible half slide there, almost facing the wrong way. Oh, Musa's gone deep. Musa's gone very deep. Ben's got to go by. Don't know if Nath will get him as well. No, Nath is too far behind. V-Cube is also on this group now. And it's SD in 8th, Jezza in 9th. Wack is still there on 10th. Hasn't got too many mistakes as of this point. Look at the meter. Look at the meter on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. That meter is ever so slightly above that bottom third line, which means we are very much heading to slick tyre weather. And all of these guys, you see all these guys at the back, they're all on intermediate, they're all on slick tyres, and they all won't have to pit. None of their tyres are wearing as well, because it's raining and they're on slicks, so it isn't going to wear as much because of the less friction and everything going on, so their tyres are going to be in a better state. So where they could potentially only go 3 laps maybe in a normal race in the dry, they might be able to go 4, maybe even 5, and make that strategy so much easier. And with the lesser pit stop being at Le Mans, and the pit stop is literally a year and a half long, it'll just play into the hands of the guys on slicks. Now, I can understand the idea of starting on the intermediate tyres here, but now you've got the issue where those intermediates are going to start wearing fairly quickly. You've got to get at least 3 laps out of these tyres without realistically ruining them, because you have to then go on to the mediums to the end, because if you pit twice, it's over. If you pit tyres at Le Mans, it is game over. You are not recovering from that. You see that these guys are already having to go onto the wet patches to try and kick up some spray. Get those tyres cooled so they don't burn alive in this race. And that's the issue of starting on the intermediates here. If you've had enough time in the lobby prior to figure it out, you probably should have started on slicks. And then try to hold it together. Musa got ahead of Kachka, ahead of Ben. Yuri and JMS are fighting at the front. The thing is, I don't think they've got enough of a gap. There's not a pit stop gap there. They have to drive the intermediate tyres for at least another lap on top of this. And then pray that mediums can do 7. Slightly dampened track will help them, but it'll be fairly dry by the time they hit the end of lap 3. There's VQ trying to kick up a little bit of water in the background there as well, to see is on the intermediate tyres. Esti's got a half-second penalty. You can see that gap is that meter has now come below the 1/3 line, and when you come below the 1/3 line, it is definitely slick weather now, and you'll see the Wack, the Pasty, that Mo, they are all going to start coming through now. They don't have anything to work with here. They don't have anything to work against, rather, on their slick tyres now. They didn't wear as much because of the rain. Now they've got essentially a 3 lap out of their tyres. And everyone here is going to have to pit. The real question is, are they going to pit to mediums, and when are they going to pit to mediums? The intermediates won't last past lap 3 here. They are going to burn up very quickly. We've got Yuri here trying to fight for the lead of the race. Strategy has got very interesting all of a sudden. JMS followed by Yuri, followed by Musa, followed by Kachka. Musa needs a good race here to keep him within arm's length of Whack and of Pasty, who are currently in 10th and 11th. Don't forget, everyone will have to pit at least once. You have to run 2 different sets of tyres. And in comes JMS, and in comes Yuri. They've got this wrong. They have got this wrong. Everyone has seen a dry track and they pull themselves into the pits. This is not how you do it. This is, they've just condemned them. All of the top 6 have just condemned themselves to a 2-stop. The tyres aren't going to go 8. You've just put yourself on a 2-stop here. And that's game over for 36. Realistically, B-Cube's done it as well. Lesty's gone in. He had to try and do one more. They had to try and do one more. They've just botched it. Got Jezza out on the track still, and yeah, this is what I was meaning. This is smart from Jezza. He is right there with the slick drive tire drivers. Albeit he isn't going to be able to hold them back. He isn't going to be able to hold them back, but he is going to be able to one-stop from here. And if he can one-stop from here, this is going to be effectively a guaranteed top 3. He's just got to get to the end of the lap in some sort of shape, some sort of intact here with Pasty and Whack, and he'll get himself a podium spot. Apologies about that, I had to mute for a split second because people are starting to get the best of me again. But yeah, I think this was. It was very innovative from Pasty and from Whack. We have seen it a ton of times before in this league. If you can get it right, the slick tires on the wets, godsend. Especially when it's like this, the rain stops after half a lap of Le Mans, you get yourself away pretty quickly. Jeddah just needs to hang in. He needs to hang in here with Pasty and with Whack, and then all he can do. And then from there, it'll be perfectly fine. You see that these guys, mediums, unless you can do 8 on a medium tyre, which is going to be a huge ask. Just going to be a huge ask. There's absolutely no... I mean, I have seen it done. I have seen it done, but it's such a huge ask that it's not worth it. Darlington is now in with here, and I think Kachka just pushed Yuri off the track, and then Darlington pushes Kachka off the track. And Kachka's in the wall on his slicks because he came off the racing line. And Kachka's in the wall. That was just carnage. I'm surprised. Well, I guess because they got hit off, they aren't going to get penalties for that. Musa and Mo through on Darlington. JMS out in front there. But that gap at the front, you just gotta... The slick tires were the right call. They just were the right call. But if you didn't make the right call initially, pitting on lap 2 is just not it at Le Mans. All of these guys prior surely would have done enough practice to know that you couldn't do 8 laps on a tyre. 8 laps on a singular tyre that is not a hard tyre is a huge ask. Mo's going to look to the inside of Musa here. They're side by side. Heading towards the Porsche curve now. Mo's got a very good run. I think ahead of Musa. Up in a 5th goes Mo here in the Porsche. Musa is going to try and fight this back straight away, but you got to remember if they come off that racing line, you see by the different coloured tarmac at the moment, they come off that racing line, it'll become a lot more difficult to do things. The Musa has just squashed him. Well, that's a bit aggressive. That's an aggressive reaction to that, but yeah, he's definitely lost it there. Yeah, that's on Musa, that is. He just hasn't even bothered to give him space. And he's always going to spin all the way into the wall as well, and Mo Yeah, I feel like if he's agreed by that one, he'll have every right to be. Musa just got too greedy there and pushed him straight out. Oh, Darlington's got round because he didn't get off the curb quick enough. Went onto the wet stuff too quickly, and there you go. That'll be the end of that for Darlington. He'll spin toward the back now. And that's the risk you run when it comes to the slick tyres. You get too much on the wet. That's why you need to get off the curb as soon as you can. As Musa is not doing that. I'm not sure why he's attaining to the wet line here. You need to be on the dry line as much as you physically can. And yeah, Jeddah now into the pits. Like, look at those intermediates, but at least he can one-stop this. Like, he is in trouble for everything else. Oh, that didn't look good for Musa, who'd gone round. We'll get a second look at this. Oh, that's too far inside. And so is that. And that's way too far to the outside. That is just a calamity of a chicane there for Musa. Here we go, Don Frudo, questions asked. Strategy with a blinder for these two. And you can tell that there is a reason why these two are your title fight. The minor details of just knowing what to do in this kind of scenario, knowing what rain realistically poses a threat compared to what doesn't pose a threat is massive in a race like this. And the entire rest of the grid got it wrong to a degree. Darlington had it right, but he just didn't have the pace to stay with these two. There's about 7 or 8 of them that just pitted on lap 2, and I would be very, very surprised if any of them decided to one stop this now. Katchka obviously spinning on the last lap, killing him off with a half fuel. Esty might try. Big Cube's here as well. He's right behind Jeddah. Jeddah, I can assume this is a full medium tide. It is. Now, if they had the rain for the entirety of the first lap, Jeddah would be in the perfect position right now. But he isn't. My voice has decided it didn't want to work. Which means we've got a long day ahead of us. In fact, I'm doing Fuji immediately after this, and then eSports later on tonight. That's a little bit deep for Nath, but he's managed to keep it off the wet stuff. Darlington still ahead of Ben for now. But you can see, even Darlington, who started to right at the back of the grid, has benefited massively from not having to pit twice. That looked a little bit wide there from Ben. And even more wide from Darlington on the exit. Just about keeps that going. JMS has got a half-second penalty pass, the whack. Very much off into the distance. It's just these two for the lead of this race, and no one's going to get anywhere near them. We're on lap 4 of 10 here, so I'd assume... Oh, they might go one more, actually. They might turn this into a 5-5. Couldn't blame them if they did. I don't know how much they will want to risk those soft tyres though. Definitely could do it. That's for certain. He even passed it with his, well, egregious tyre wear issues so far this season. Realistically, had they got an issue here at all, it's a pit for both of them. Are they going to manage this pit lane that's still wet? Oh, it's a very good entrance there for Basti. He's just closed that gap. Realistically, without a pit entrance. This is where it gets... This is where it gets to prove where people have gone very wrong with their strategy today. at that, JMS just sliding a little bit there. He might go deep. He has gone deep. He has to keep this together now. He does just about keep it together well enough to stay in P1 on track. And out comes Whack, who on to 6 laps for mediums, and Pasty's just going, whatever you can do, I can do as well. Look at this, Yuri is right after. Why are they wide? Why are they going with that far wide here onto the wet part of the track? Get shallow and keep with the racing line. As soon as you go wide here, that wet track's going to play with you. You can see it's still wet. Why are we going onto the wet part of this track? The line starting opening up through that chicane now. That's good news. But all the drivers, it means that their margin for error is just a little bit wider now. JMS has got Yuri handedly there. Ben Darlington. Well, Ben just got past Darlington there. Darlington can keep it together. He'll get a good result out of this. On track with a condition like this now, it's all about getting yourself onto that racing line as quick as you possibly can. Stay off the wet stuff, that way you can keep your car in a straight line for as long as humanly possible. You see that Pasty is just behind, well, just dropped off the back of Whack now. And Jed has got a second penalty, which is not good news for him. But at the end of the day, he's just got to run his own race here. Everyone else around him has got to pit again. He'll jump himself immediately into the top 3. Maybe top 4, depending on how well Darlington does. It looks like Kulak is right on the back of Nape already. Here comes Darlington firing back at Ben. Is there going to be anything down towards Indianapolis? We'll go to the front in a minute. Because Yuri has overtaken JMS for the lead of the race. We'll see if there's nothing going to happen here for Darlington, I don't think. Definitely in a good position, but he ain't going to get anything on Ben here. Yuri has got himself in front of JMS now. Yeah, there's no way either of them are going in the end from here. Neither of the fuel tanks are going to do it, never mind the tyres. Well, it's like, yeah, Yuri and JMS are comfortably ahead of Musa though, so when they do have to pit, they'll be significantly ahead, probably still potentially in the top 5. That was a bit shaky there from Ben. They'll open the door again for Darlington. Had Darlington not spun earlier on, this would have been a lot more interesting. He'd be up beside Musa, I reckon. He would have a real good shot at his first podium in ALR. Might have to settle for a top 5. I think he would take if you gave it to him at the beginning of the day. He has to still pit. Everyone around him still has to pit. That spin is definitely gonna prove costly in the end. There's Whack. Already ahead of Nave by quite some distance. And there's also Pasty now coming up to the back of the Ferrari. Mo, B-Cube there. Just see if we've got any sort of battles on the track right now. We don't. Nathan Pasty is probably our closest one right now. We'll see if there's going to be any sort of movement here. You would think that Pasty will be in the driving seat in this battle because he now has the slipstream on a Ferrari, which does not have good top speed. And look at that, he is hunting him down quite rapidly. He's going to go straight to the inside. Oh no, he's going to bump Nave through the first part of the straight here at the Mulsanne. That probably means he's not close enough to make a move down into the first chicane. He's going to buy himself some time. It's a far better exit than the Ferrari does. The bump from earlier is going to give that Ferrari enough space to realistically hold on through to the second part of the chicane here in the Mulsanne. Now you are fuel saving. Ah, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Oh, out a bit wide. Out a bit wide there. He's going to try and stay behind Nate for as long as possible then. Let's go through to Darlington, who's got to run on the Ferrari up ahead. To the inside. If he can go to the inside now, he will. He'll pull in. He broke on the curve. That's probably still wet. And the Ferrari's going to switch underneath. Forget him again. Darlington just needs to get a solid move in here. I think he made the mistake of braking on the curve there, which normally would be fine, but in this race in particular, if that is still wet, it will do a little bit of damage to your ability to go in a straight line. Is he going to have enough into Indianapolis here? That's the question. Why are you braking? You do not need to brake through that corner. Using video mode 6. Oof, rough. Here he's got a substantial lead on JMS now, and then you got Musa. They're all pretty similarly distant apart. Then you got Ben and Darlington here with the battle we were watching. Then you got Wack ahead of Nape, who's there with Pasty. Pasty's currently fuel saving, so he's going to try and help Nape around. Quite frankly, even with the fuel saving here, I think it probably would have been better just going by. Fuel save on your own. If you got close to running out the end, then I guess this is probably why you were doing it. Darlington into the pit. I think JMS has come in as well on lap 6 here. We're doing 2-4-4. Mo's into the pits now as well. Also, if I see a soft tyre going on any of these cars, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind, apart from Darlington, who should be onto a soft tyre here. Oh, that's a bit wide from Pasty. He's finally going for the move and gets it on the Ferrari. He moved up in the 4th, no questions really asked there. Just picking and choosing his moment there with Nave with Pasty. He is significantly off the back of this Renault now, who is in complete control of this race. This is what it means when you can get the when you get the strategy right. This is what you create for yourself. You create a gigantic opportunity here. JMS had come out. Actually come out behind Musa here. Musa now going to the end. On the soft, where it's mediums for JMS. From JMS to the inside, a little bit of contact between the two of them. And Musa's got 2 inside! And his car did not like that! And he's got a half-second penalty for his trouble. Jedda's actually been beaten out. It's tried to be fair, 4:33, 4:12. Yeah, there's going to be some rough, that is some rough laps. Go, you look at, for example, Pasty, 4:29. Like, you get those that just, I guess it's with the pit stop and everything, but still, a lot quicker on the way through. That'll be why Jeddah just kind of dropped off a little bit. Wacker's right up to the back of Ben. Or will be by the end of the lap. There you go, you just half the gap there in one corner. A lot closer now to Ferrari to that Renault. And we'll see if there's going to be anything in this for Wack in the next couple of laps. Quite frankly, Yuri, Ben, I don't really think they've got enough left in the tank to get 3 extra laps out of that, to be honest with you. I think this is going to be coming in at the end of this lap. If not, the end of the next lap at the very least. And it is Yuri into the pits now. Touchy into the pit lane now. He's definitely not getting out ahead of Wack. Look at this. Wack and Ben are already up to the final chicane. Ben is about to pit here as well. I would be very surprised if he's not. Yep, and he docks in, and that will allow for Wack to take the lead of this race then. And all of a sudden, the championship leader has created himself an opportunity to, well, win. It's one thing he hasn't done a lot of this season. And actually, one thing he hasn't done of in a fairly long time here in ALR. He's given himself a glorious opportunity here. Pasty's out on the main straight here, but I think Yuri's beating him out. Yuri's handedly beating him out. Yuri's got a chance now to try and fight Wack back for as long as he for the last few laps. It's going to take something special for him to do it, but he's got a chance. Nathan 4th, JMS in 5th. JMS is going to look to switch up Napier. Oh, Moose around the outside. Moose is looking around the outside here. Jed's JMS. Caught JMS napping there as he tried to go past Nath, and Moose was just like, well, if you're not going to go, I will. And he's going to get them both. He's up past Nath, he's up past JMS, and now JMS has to go fighting. Nate's going to get the slipstream from the Mazda, which is a very smart move from Moose to try and defend his position here, and now, realising it's probably a losing battle, comes back over to take his race in line. And JMS has got through on Nath there. Oh, Nath is round! Nath has spun it round! And that'll allow for Jeddah to go on through. And then Jeddah's up to the 6th. Catch curve, V cube, that's just not. The 2-stop did not treat them nicely in any way, shape or form. Darlington's up into 9th. If it's going to be too far away from Jed, that was too close for comfort potentially there, and Nath managed to take evading action to avoid the Porsche in front of him. JMS at the half-second penalty. Moose is going to get a lot of breathing room now then. Potentially a run. at Pasty in the next lap or two. Yuri and Whack is gone. Whack is gone. Whack has well and truly disappeared up the road here. I don't really think there's a way of stopping him. Wait and see if that's the case. It'll have to be a mistake from the leader of both the race and the championship, and he's going to extend just a little bit. Here to pass the extended 2 points in the sprint. It'll be what, 5? A 5-point extension as of right now in the feature. So 7 points total on the day. We'll see if there's anything left in this one. Pasty's still driving his way around the track right now. Musa is very much closing him in. There's going to be a very close call at the end of this. I think Musa might be able to get Pasty here on the last couple of laps. JMS might have a contention for that as well. Yes, he'll be fine. He's fighting against Nate for that 6th spot. Ben, Darlington, the rest of the group are effectively out of it. We're going to go back to the front. And keep an eye on this battle, because this could be a little bit more points gained for Whack in the championship here. Moose's gone deep. That might be a penalty. Moose has just done the fastest lap of the entire race, a 4.23 on the soft tyre. He gets past here. He's going to look to the inside here straight away. He's not even going to wait for a straight. Down into turn 1. Moose has got Pasty, and all that fuel saving will cost Pasty an extra couple of points. The gap will be 20 points now in the championship. Again, Moose is just going fastest lap after fastest lap. But Moose needed a big day, and he has not got it, because, well and truly, that award has gone the Whack and to Pasty today. They've had great days at the office, albeit one slightly better than the other. Might be close to see whether or not JMS, if Pasty has to fuel save a lot, it might be close in the next lap and a half to see if JMS gets him. That might be deep. That might be a penalty, I think. It looked like all 4 were over. It is a penalty. And, well, that'll bring JMS a lot closer to the group now. Also say that JMS has found his stride over the last couple of weeks as well. Podium at Bathurst. Albeit, he had his opportunities at Road Atlanta. Looked like he's going to get another top 4 here at Le Mans. He definitely found his stride just outside of that championship pack. Oh, it looked like Yuri was actually doing the fastest lap then. 1 second penalty isn't going to drag JMS straight to the back of Pasty, but it ain't going to do. It's going to do quite a lot of damage to the car in front. You can see, usually that penalty marker flashes up if you're within a second, or down thereabouts towards the second on the car in front. So Pasty might actually get dragged quite handily to the front of JMS here. As coach that didn't make the second race, I have just realised. The 2.5 second penalty for SD will give DQ the position. Not quite capture though. VQ will get the position there. Darlington's got a penalty as well. That won't do any damage though. The two Ferraris are about to go after each other. They're looking very dull again at Le Mans. On last lap, rain would be really funny. So I'm not sure whether or not Ben's gonna get it. If Nate's gonna be able to defend this. If you're honest, if you're Nate, you probably just let your teammate go. You're on hard tires. He's on softs. As long as you're aware of that fact, this should not be too difficult. This should just be a simple team order and let him go after Jezza and get an extra position. That does not seem to be happening here. And Nathan's just hanging on. Why? I'm not sure why Nathan's not letting his teammate go. Nathan's going to head up at the end of this lap ahead of his teammate, and then Jedda's going to be like, thank you very much. The more you do that, the easier it is going to be for me to get 60th. JMS is going to go after Pasty. Not into turn one, he's not though. Jedda's probably too far back to really make any sort of a run further forward, so it's just going to be these guys. We're on the final lap of Le Mans now. Pasty, that is very deep. That is very deep, and it'll lay you straight into the hands of JMS, who gets passed and up in a fourth. It may have been slightly tactical though. Pasty now gets to sit behind the Lamborghini for a couple of corners and then try into Indianapolis later in the lap if he is close enough. It's fairly interesting in terms of the strategy here. The rain definitely did throw things up. Half the tier forgot that you actually have to be able to one-stop this race, otherwise you're screwed. Got away with it because most of the tiers did the same thing. By Pasty here, just having a mare trying to hold on to the back of JMS, and that'll do it. He's not going to be able to hold on to the back of him anymore, so JMS is going forward. To be fair, Yuri is caught up to the back of Wack. Albeit that penalty is going to do any sort of damage to try and win in this race. There we go, looking into Indianapolis. He's going to have to deal with the half-second penalty of Yuri. And Wack will start driving it off into the distance again. Moves to there, JMS. No one really close enough to do anything apart from Ben and Jeddah. At this point, finally, Ben got past Nath and has actually had a chance at Jeddah and has got past Jeddah as well for good measure. Oh, round the outside for Jeddah. He might be too deep. Oh, he just didn't get turned in. He should have trusted himself there. He had definitely hung that round the outside if he just got the turning right. Doing a rather impressive move nonetheless. He goes towards the end of the line here with what has been an excellent strategy and a masterclass of what has happened if you get the strategy right. Here comes Wack to the line to win the feature at Le Mans. Yuri's going to get second, Moose is going to come over in third, but Wack in the strategy department has pocketed everyone else today. Thoroughly deserved win. No one really got close enough in the end. It needed an extra lap or two for Yuri to really get close. Moose will get third, JMS will get fourth. Pasty really played hard and fair on his fuel. He's going to get over, he's going to come in fifth. He ain't going to be too disappointed with that. You probably would have expected a little bit more. And Ben is just about going to beat out Jeddah in the end. So Ben will get sixth, Jeddah will get seventh. We've got Darlington coming over the line in eighth. He'll take that. Much better than what his prospect looked at the beginning of the night. We got Nathan ninth, B-Cube in 10th, which, yeah, he just got his strategy wrong. We have very harsh lesson to learn, that's a certain. Very quick lesson to learn, that as well. And Mo gets 11th. SD has ran out of the ability to hit the throttle, apparently. He goes over the line, ends in 12th, and Cash can span it round at the final corner in the background there. And what has been a bad day for the Croatian just gets even worse. They'll come over in 13th. Let's have a look at the championship standings. After round 6 here. So after round 6, what are we looking at? So Wack has a 26-point lead to Musa in second. And then Pasty in third on 153. So 30-point gap splits Wack and Pasty. And that is a very substantial gap now. 17 points, 18 points realistically, over Musa in Fuji. Will be enough to win Wack the championship. Yuri on 133, 50 points back, needing a miracle. And in the constructors, we have 228 here for the Beetle, then 200 for the Mazda, 183 for the Renault. All of them split by 45. Realistically needing a little bit of help now to get toward that championship for the constructors, because I think the Beetle should still have it in hand. Well, that being said, now 1:30. So I'm going to end this stream, give myself 5 minutes to get a drink, and then we'll get going for Fuji. Hopefully get that sorted right before F1 starts. Until, well, I'll see you guys in about 5 minutes. Peace.